NCR's incremental workstation architecture has arrived, providing the power, speed, compatibility and expandability the business or professional computer users needs. Taking the full advantage of split board design, VLSI and surface mount technology, the PC810 offers enhanced A3 performance with tremendous expansion capacity. 6 PCIe compatible expansion slots and choices in graphics and storage configuration make the NCR PC810 both powerful and flexible enough for the most demanding environments. Well, that sure was a mouthful, right? But I think they were kind of like aiming for the big boys when they produced this one. So, as I promised in episode 2, and if you haven't looked at episode 1 and 2, I will link them somewhere up here and in the description of this video, obviously, so you can see why we're here, where did we come from. In episode 2, I ended on a cliffhanger and saying that we need to look at the second power supply. So I think I'll bring the camera closer. We will open it up just so that people can see the power supply from inside. We will obviously check the fuses and then we will test. I have stuff ready for testing and we can put some hard disk on it for some loads. And if this is working, I haven't tested it. If it's working, the second computer can then also have its own power supply and we can build it up. And then I think we will try and see a little bit more into the BIOS settings. It's a little bit weird. I need to say I was trying to find a battery for it and I haven't managed to get a battery for this episode, sadly. So we will lose the battery, the BIOS setting when we turn the computer off, but it really doesn't matter. The goal is just to ensure that both of the computers will be running. And then we can maybe hook up a floppy disk, maybe even a CF card, so we can have a emulated hard disk or maybe a real hard disk. We'll see where this goes. I will not promise too much. We will see. I also located some software. But before I run the intro, I really need to thank everybody. This community of people playing around in vintage computer stuff, they are amazing. I really have so much gratitude to all my viewers. There are people writing in the comments, people are emailing me with information, BIOS dumps, documentation, and so much care about this computer. And I really need to say thank you, everybody, for all your input. This has helped this project immensely for me. So, let's start the intro. Let's put the power supply on the table and open it up. Okay, here we have the power supply. Just before we start, I just want to tell about the specification. It actually tells you, obviously, there's a plus 5 at 23 amp, a plus 12 at 9 amp, minus 5 at 0.4 amps, and minus 12 at 0.4 also. They also color code. If we find those, these are, let me just fix it so we can see it. It's this one, so it's this set. Remember, black goes to black. And what it tells you is that, obviously, which is usually the case, red is the 5 volt and yellow over here, that's the 12 volt. It says that white is minus 5, which is over here, and minus 12 is the blue, which is this one, and then we have black, which is ground, and the last one, which is the orange, that's the power good, which sits up here. So all in all, this is just a normal AT power supply. So let me turn it a little bit around and let's find where all the screws are. There are 2 in the top up here. And then there are 1, 2, 3 down here. So let's unscrew these. I just want to say that this is the on and off button that goes to in the front of the computer. This is live. This is here in Europe 230 volts. So be careful when you're messing around with these. Okay, so let me take out all the screws and let's crack it open. Five screws out. I think we can lift this up somehow. There we go. And okay, it's a little bit dirty. The fan over here has some, dust. But besides that, it looks actually okay. It looks fine. Maybe I can find some more lights. There we go. So yeah, I need to dust this off, take it out and blow some air into it. Let me briefly see. So absolutely none of the caps in here are bulging, or I can't smell anything. I just noticed that there's a board here, and down here there's another board. So power comes in here and power comes in here and can go out, for instance, for a monitor if you wanted that. And there is a switch that can switch between 230 volts and 150. And all that power goes in here. And I see some, no, I don't see any refills at all. And if I look in here, there are no refills neither. The question is, where is the fuse? This is going to be a little bit difficult, I know, but bear with me that down there's the fuse. So let me just briefly take this away, blow some air in it, clean it a little bit, and then we'll test the fuse. I actually can do it immediately because I actually have this at hand. So let's just quickly test the fuse. So yeah. Let's dig inside. So the fuse is okay in this one. Let me just briefly come back once I have cleaned the inner of it. It's not bad at all. That was quick. It's clean. So let's just put some power to it, right? So let's make a setup. I thought about having two hard disks just to give it a little bit extra load. Usually you shouldn't test a power supply without any loads. It's best for the power supply, and some can't even turn correctly on if there's no load on it. As you know, I collect Olivetti computers, and the good old ones, they don't need loads. There's no problem with that. Just don't keep them running for long time without any loads, obviously, but it works. So let's go back to this. We need we need to figure out how the voltage will come out of this. So let me just see if I can fix all of this over here. Sorry. So if we start by testing the red, which is 5 volts, and then we can test 12 volts. Afterwards we can test the minus rails over here, so that shouldn't be a problem. It's these two, plus or minus 12 over here. So this is the setup. I need to make a disclaimer. Don't mess around with power supply if you don't understand them. Try to keep your fingers out of it when there's high voltage on it. Even if you turn them off, there's still high voltage in it. Maybe there's a bleeding resistor that then quickly will take away all the high power in it. But you cannot be assured that the bleeding resistor actually works if there's somebody in here. This is dangerous. This is high voltage, so we need to be careful with this setup. I'm not quite sure how I should make this safe enough. I'll keep it over here. This is turned on, so when I put some power to the power supply, I can keep my hands away from all of this. I can just plug it in. It will turn on. The hard disk drive should work. The 5 volts should come up on the voltmeter over here. So I think this is kind of like the power supply setup. I'll need to be careful with this again. And let me just do it. 3, 2, 1, go. I hear the hard disks are spinning up. There's 5 volt over here. I'm still keeping my hands away from this over there. Let's try the 12 volt. And that's all okay. If we go down here, I found some ground on this. I should be able on the blue one to find minus 12. And the yellow one is then plus 12. And that should be it. Well, the red one is 5, and then the power okay here. So let me turn the power off. It's off. Again, please remember there is still some voltage inside this power supply. But nevertheless, okay, so let me take all this off. Let me get the computer in and let me build this into the computer, hook it up to the actual motherboard, and then let's see if we can get that computer up and running also. I think we're ready. So it's turned on here now. Let's turn it off. Let's hook some power so the power goes into the power supply, goes out again to the monitor. I put in the VGA cards, so and it's all hooked up. I hope this will work. Let's just turn it on and see if I turn the computer on. It's green. I see a green light over here. I can hear the fan is spinning, so I'm assuming, there we go. This is all good. Perfect. Let me take the camera a little bit closer. I just briefly want to talk about the actual CPU cards, just to explain a little bit that I have gained of knowledge to it, and then we shall go in and look at the actual BIOS a little bit more. Okay, I just briefly want to talk about the CPU card, just very briefly. I'll just unscrew these. I'll come back to this. The reason I'm doing this is just so I can take this away. I'll come back to it. Just want to say that this card holds 512 kilobytes of memory up here with parity check. There are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So 2 times parity, 512. And I need to talk a little bit about this. This is additional 128K, so it gives you a total of 640. And tiny observation was also, I'll come back to in just in a second. Everything, numbers for everything here seems to have 150 on it, then dash something else. For instance, even the BIOS here is 150 and the card itself. So let me briefly just take this back and let me bring forward my laptop, because one of the viewers wrote into me that I should just go on archive.org, because up there's actually the original NCR DOS disk image for the computer. So therefore, I'm doing this. Hopefully everybody can see. Sorry, this is on my laptop. And if I am archive.org, NCR DOS, And I should be able to locate a specific, let's hold on, there we go, it's over here. It's this one. Can I touch? Not working, no touch. Let me do this, sorry. There we go. So that seems to be the box, which holds 3 DOS disk drives for MS-DOS 4.01. I will actually assume, because if you can see down here, it says 150, 150, 150 again. So I think maybe this PC810 came with this set of DOS disks marked NCR. It is Microsoft DOS. And I have already downloaded the disk image, and the part numbers are here. I put them on 3 disks, label them 1, 2, and 3. And over here I have a floppy disk drive. So I think we're just gonna hook up all of this into the computer and see if we can boot on it. In order for me to do that, I need obviously to hook up the floppy disk to the floppy and hard disk controller that I put into this computer also. So let me just very briefly set all of this up, arrange the camera. We will then first have a brief look into the BIOS, just so you can see the BIOS once again. And then we will try to boot and see what happens, if it even works. I haven't tested yet. So let me just briefly set this up for you. Okay, let's turn on the computer and let's just briefly have a walk into the BIOS. I just want to walk through it once again. I briefly did it before in the other video, but let me just do it again. So you can press F1 to go into the BIOS. Remember now saying 640. I actually also did test taking out the 128 kilobyte of RAM, and then it says 512. So that is correct. So I'll just press F1. And then we go into the setup, version 2.3, and you can set the date and time. And in order to do all of that, you need to use the keyboard to move up and down. And you can see what it's doing here. So select it here, so I'm just moving up. And if I don't want to change that. So if I go on the flexible disk A, which is this one, this is a 1.44. So over here, I can then select number 4, punch it in, press enter to set the new value, so it's changed to that. There's no hard disk and no anything else. And then conventional memory, I should be able to write 640. So that's also changed. We keep the VGA over here, 80 columns, there's no math coprocessor. In order to get out of this, we need to press End, which on this Italian keyboard or Spanish keyboard, I'm not sure, is called Fine. And if I then take the floppy disk drives and I then put this in here, wait for the BIOS. Hopefully it's now booting. I hear ticking. NCR personal computers, NCR MS-DOS version 4.01, copyrighted 1989 by NCR Corporation with a ROM BIOS version 4.6, which is the ROM BIOS in on the CPU card, obviously. This is disk number 1. This is the installation disk, and I haven't connected any hard disk, so we're not going to install MS-DOS, but you can go through that, and then I'm expecting you can just install DOS onto the hard disk. So let's just, for fun, try to see if we can get out by pressing escape for cancel down here. Are you sure you want to end? Then press F3. Yes, I am sure. So NCR obviously made their own setup utility for installing DOS on this. If I do ver for version, we will get MS-DOS. So this is not an NCR labeled DOS. It is just a regular MS-DOS 4.01. I can, as a bonus information, said Olivetti actually made an agreement with Microsoft so they could call it Olivetti DOS. But there we go. So I can do D just to confirm that obviously the floppy disk drive is working. So there's loads of content in here. One thing I noticed, because this computer has the normal speed of 10 megahertz, but you can also make it slow by turning it down to 6 megahertz. And according to the manuals that I also found, there should be a slow and a fast piece of software. I can't find it. It's on none of the 3 disks. Maybe I'm not looking good, but I can't find it. So maybe other people know where to find that. What will happen is that the green light, when it's 10 megahertz, is green, and when it's 6, it's something else. I will expect it to be red, because when you turn on the computer, it actually, for a brief second, is red, and then it goes directly to green. So, all in all, it seems that this computer is running, and you can hook up floppy disk drive and obviously hard disk drive, and we have all the bay mountains and all that is needed for all of that. With this said, I think I just want to wrap up, and we need to have a little bit of a talk about this, because I have yet another tiny piece I need to explain to you. So let me rearrange the camera and let's have a talk about the computer and what I want to do with this computer going forward. Once again, thank you everybody for contributing information to this computer. I really, really had much joy with all your information and the interaction. And again, thank you for writing. Awesome. This comes to an end. I'm not gonna do more. It's when I got these two, I was told they're not working, completely dead, and so on and so forth. And at the end of the day, the only problem with all of this was 3 tantalum, which I have here, that was sitting on the boards for the 12 and minus 12 volt rail. So when I changed that, everything was working. So that's perfect. One more thing, if I look at the back of the computer, the model number for it, I need to show you a close-up on one side, and I will talk about a piece of paper, one of the documentation for it. It tells about that the model number is 3279 dash, and these two are 1013, so 13 at the last. If I look at the documentation, it doesn't exist, which is why I most likely couldn't find any information, because the model number on these, remember, they are Danish. Remember, this is not sold as NCR, this is sold as DDE, the Danish company. So maybe NCR produced this 1013 model number specific only for the Danish company DDE. So maybe that's the one. Okay, so another thing I just want to say, I briefly took in a compact flash card into the computer, loaded up with DOS 6. Yes, it was, yeah. Working fine. So no problem doing that if you wanted to. I just didn't want to show you because this has been taking way too long. The last thing, I promise, I hope. The last thing, the reason that there's something missing on the computer, and it's when we look at the pictures, let me find the pictures again. I know you can't see it, but let me show it. There is, in the front, there should be a plastic thing that you can put down, take down, so you gain access to the disk drives, and then you can move it upwards again to, I don't know, to prevent no dust coming in or whatever, or to make it pretty or something. Obviously, these don't have it, so they are most likely broken, or maybe they didn't exist on this specific Danish model. Okay, before I go, I have so many computers and I need to let them go. These two computers, I wanna sell them. So if any of you want to buy these two computers together with the third one, which is up here, and as you have seen, everything is working, everything is tested, everything is clean. It's just for you to extend it with floppy disk drives, maybe hard disk, or maybe a complex flash card, a CD-ROM drive, or whatever. It's for you just to write to me in an email, and we'll see. Whoever comes first, I'm thinking 200 euros for everything. That should be fine, right? Obviously, I will spend this on new stuff for the channel. So by you buying this, you actually buying stuff for the channel. Okay, so write me an email if you're interested. Make it quick. If I don't hear anything, then I will eventually put it on Facebook. I will make some sort of announcement and then people can buy from there. If that doesn't work, then I'll eventually maybe put it on eBay. I must say I hate eBay, but there we go. Cool. I want to wrap this up. I want to pay my tribute to all of you who have helped me with this. To all my viewers, this has been super amazing, very interesting to see if we can fix it, which we could. So I think we're done and we need to move on. As I said, I have so many computers coming in and we need to look at them. Thank you. Stay tuned. Please give me a thumbs up, write some comments. This helps the algorithm on YouTube to promote my webpage, this YouTube channel, to spread the message out to everybody. So there we go. That's it for me now. And thank you. Stay tuned. There's the loads of Olivetti coming up, and I can say it's very rusted this time. So we'll try to see if we can fix that also. Again, thank you. See you soon. My name is Hypo, and goodbye. Oh, just one more thing. If you want to buy this, I just need to say that the only thing besides the casing, the power supply, will be these two. So no VGA or hard disk or floppy disk control or anything else. It's just gonna be casing and these two elements, just so you know. And obviously the price doesn't include the shipment, and the shipment will be from Denmark. I will ensure that these are very safely shipped, packed and stuff, so they most likely will not be damaged, but there you go. So once again, if you're interested, send me an email. It's 2 computers and 3 times this. That's it.